Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. This is Big Girl Diary. Okay, I have an interesting one for you. Now, I was scrolling through YouTube, the shorts, and I found something interesting. And I saw the short clip on YouTube of this Asian man saying how Asian men have a hard time dating. I'm looking at him like, you have a hard time dating. You could get the pick of the litter. You're good looking. Well, I'm old, so I'm just thinking, him being young, he would have no problems getting any woman. I mean, from all walks of life. He's a nice looking guy. If I were young as him, I think I'm like, yo, check this out, man. Hey, I'm so silly, but he expressed that it was difficult dating, and I'm just like, I thought it was interesting. So take a look at his picture. This is what he looks like. Now, do you see how it's kind of hard to say, why do you have a hard time dating? But that's just him. But he was speaking for a whole group of people. So I thought, let me take a little, do a little bit of research in Psychology Today. And I'm just thinking, and according to him and his statement, what I found interesting in Psychology Today, they were talking about dating apps. So they didn't get into meeting people on the street, telephone calls, people setting people up. None of that. It was dating apps because we're 2025 and people date on dating apps. Very few people find a person walking down the street saying, hey, can I have your number? Can I have your number? That's in my day. Can I have your number? Can I have your number? Let me dial on up. I'm so silly. The article Psychology says this. It says, even though Seattle, Washington, is relatively a big city, these guys express frustration that the dating apps aren't working for them. What adds to the frustration is these men have followed the rules by the family by holding off dating until receiving their degree and are settled in a good job with stable income. Now that they are ready to date, they're surprised the pool is so small for them that many do not want to blame their ethnicity for the lack of interest, as they feel that's having a mental or a victim mentality. But in not acknowledging the obvious, they do themselves a disservice by being blind to the social forces that, statistically speaking, will lead them to fewer matches. Now, I thought that was interesting. Now, they're using dating apps and they're not going out doing it the regular way. So, and plus having families saying, hey, no, you go ahead, get your degree, get your income, then get married. That's how it should be. But depending on the degree that you're getting, who knows how long it may take you. Now, normally when you go to college, people get married in college like I did. I got married in college. When I graduated, I was already married. So then my husband and I, went on with our lives. But they're saying, or the article is stating, that that is not what the family is suggesting. Do the college first, get all that done, then go after someone to marry, and then everything will be stable, and then you can go on with your life. However, we're in 2025, and things are done differently. We're not back in 1990. We're not doing that. We're doing something different. And I think when parents are giving advice, they're giving advice based on what worked for them back in yesteryear when the dinosaurs roamed. Okay? But but it goes a little deeper. And I thought this was very interesting. Asian men try to date white women often find it harder due to the stereotypes as Asian men as being weak, shy, and lacking initiative. But it's not as easy either for Asian men to try to date Asian women, as these stereotypes also sometimes impact how Asian women view men from similar backgrounds. That was interesting because I never. Well, one, I really don't hang in those circles because I'm not over there in Seattle, Washington. I'm on the East Coast, so I see things differently. In fact, I'm surprised because I see Asians doing very well in the dating market because they are dating everyone. The men are dating everyone. Now, the women, I see Asian women dating, and this may lead to some credence to what the article's saying, is that I see I see Asian women dating more men that are not Asian, normally white men. And I do see some Asian men dating white women. I also see Asian men dating black women, and also Asian women dating black men. So I see a lot of mixing. And I also see Asians marrying Asians. Now, whatever country their parents come from, I'm not quite sure. But I thought it was interesting. But let's listen to what he has to say.
I've been waiting for a very long time to address this particular issue, which gets probably overlooked by everybody. Nobody really ever thinks about it. And I think it's a good time to really address this particular issue now that Love Island's going on and you see a lot of dating shows on social media, and that is how Asian men get marginalized and isolated to the dating scene as if we're damn near invisible. And I'm here to tell you that the stereotypes that come with an Asian man is all false. It's been manufactured by Hollywood.
Okay, now that you heard what he had to say, and he stated that Hollywood gives these stereotypes and it makes it hard for them to date. And I'm looking at him like, you shouldn't have any problems at all dating. And in fact, you ought to be beating women up, beating women with a stick. Okay, I'm not interested. Too many of you. Too many. Okay. Now, if I were 30 years younger, 10. Okay, I'm old. I would have gave him a shot. He's good looking. I love men, period. Men. Okay, I'm so silly. My daughter made my coffee a little bit too strong. Oh my goodness. But now that I think about it, I do understand where he's coming from. I do. Because Hollywood, they have them wearing these little straw hats, wearing the thick glasses, buck teeth, and being very docile, and you push them over and they fall, and that's awful. That's awful. And I hope that we are sophisticated enough as a people to realize that's TV, that's entertainment, and it's not real. Now, if you go back to Big Trouble in Little China, the guy of electricity, he was good looking. Damn good look. I gotta find his picture so you can see how good looking he is. I'm just like, Asian men should have no problems at all based on how good looking he is. But it's more than just good looking. And the article goes on. It says, since online dating has gone mainstream, I try to emphasize to my Asian male clients that they can not only rely on dating apps. That's exactly what I said. They're using dating apps and they're not walking out in the street saying, yo, you're good looking. Can I get your number? Yo, can I get your... Okay. So if they are shy, and if they have a hard time, expressing how they feel without being rejection, because rejection, women, we need to stop being so funky when we reject, because when they reject us, it's like, oh my goodness, how dare you? Oh, you back for the other team because everybody wants to be with me. We have women have our arrogance. Our arrogance is just our level of arrogance and entitlement is off the Richter scale. But I digress on that point. Asian men may need to get out into the real world and meet women the old-fashioned way. They need to build relationships where women can see past the stereotypes, and to see the personality behind the person. This can be daunting with today's generation. That right there is true. I do see that today's generation, or shall I say Alpha, Gen Z, and Alpha generation, it's interesting because I see them in groups, and they're sitting there texting each other. They're right next to each other. Hi. Talk. Walk down the street and say hi to people. Hi. I mean, get out of your shell. Live a little. I'm Gen X. We just, hey, you look good. I'm interested in you. But back to the article. Today's generation, if one is more comfortable texting than socializing in person, I believe the advent of texting has impacted emotional intimacy, and it's easier to hide behind the texting than to engage in on phone or in person conversations. So I think right there's a big thing right there. And psychology today, I think, really hit the nail on the head, I believe. But the guy that expressed Asian men having a hard time, I don't think he has a hard time. He may be speaking for the group of men that are having a hard time. But there's this one Asian guy. He's hysterically funny. I think he's from Vietnam, and he's in sales. So being in sales, you got to be outgoing. So I'm out there with my old man, and I go to the coffee shop, and I see many people at the coffee shop. So he sits there and goes, "Hey," I'm like, "Hi." He says, "You would never believe what my name is." I'm like, "Okay, why would I never believe what your name is?" He said, "My first name is Ding." I said, "Ding? Okay." He said, "You cannot imagine what my last name is." I said, "Oh God, please don't tell me it's Dong." He said, "Yes, my name is Ding Dong." I was done. I was done. Oh, the guy is hilarious. I don't see him ever having problems dating. He's just so charismatic, and he's funny, and just his way of communicating. I don't see him having problems, but I think he's around my age. So if you're in your 50s, please stay in your age range. Don't be doing that crazy stuff. You're 50 and then you're dating an 18-year-old. Stop it. Okay, I digress. But if one is more comfortable texting than socializing in person, I believe the advent of texting has impacted emotional intimacy, and it's easier to hide behind the texting than to engage in person. Even when my clients get interested via dating apps, they are wary to meet in person or to talk on the phone until they feel there's a certain connection that occurs first. Now that right there can go both ways depending on a woman. Like some women, like we'll text, but then we're like, okay, I'm texting you, but I need to hear your voice. I want to put the words with the sound of your voice, and then the words with the sound of your voice to your face. So I get it. Some women at some point want to meet you, and some women are okay. We could text for 10 years, and I'll be okay with that. Okay. But I do understand exactly what psychology is today is stating, and also what the guy is saying, how there may be an issue. But I hope that they can get off the dating apps and actually do something a little different. And I hope the parents come up to 2025 and let their children know, okay, well, if you see this person that you're going to marry, you possibly marry before you graduate college. I mean, whatever it may be. But I hope the Asian community, please put something down in a comment. Did this article most definitely hit home? And other individuals that have married or are dating someone that's Asian, male or female, put something down in the comment too. But on that note, please like and subscribe. And I thank you very much for your time.